cellos. Today we're going to be learning how to play a 1-octave E major scale on the cello. Now normally when you learn a 1-octave scale, it's best if you can try and do the same fingering that you would use for a 2-octave scales, either the bottom octave or in the cases of some low scales, the second octave. However, with the case of E major, the 2-octave scale, both octaves are a little bit tricky. So I'm going to show you that fingering, but we're going to start with the basic version of the 1-octave E major scale, and this is the easiest way that you can play the scale in 1 octave. It does involve a little bit of shifting, but it's a pretty easy shift, and so don't be concerned about getting out of first position. So we're going to start in first position with first finger on the D string for the note E. Next note, we're going to use our extension because we do need the extended fourth finger for G sharp. We're going to play F sharp next, and then G sharp, open A, B. Now here we're going to shift to second position, so a whole step shift to C sharp. That's our first finger, and then D sharp is third finger, and then E with the fourth finger. So this just has a very basic shift to second position, and then that will allow you to get the E with the fourth finger. You also have a harmonic on that E, so you can release all the other fingers. Lightly touch it with the fourth finger to make sure that that's in tune. So descending, shift from first finger to first finger, and don't forget that extension on the D string. Now normally when we play our scales, we do try not to do two consecutive notes with the same finger. However, there's really no way to avoid it and play the scale in this basic format. So that's probably the best way to start with E major scale. Now let's go ahead and work through the fingering for the 2-octave version in case you're ready for that challenge. I'd say if you're ready for the shifting of the 2-octave version, I go ahead and start with that so that you're not having to relearn the fingering for that top octave. So we start, you can find that E with your third finger in first position, but then move the first finger to it because you actually start the scale out in second position with an extension. So we've got first finger on E, and then in the extended hand position, whole step to second finger F sharp, G sharp is fourth finger, then you're going to go to first position with an extension A, B second finger, C sharp, fourth finger, now half position D sharp, and then second finger E. So that finishes the lower octave. Continuing up, we're going to go fourth finger F sharp. Now you're going to go ahead and shift to first finger G sharp, and then we go second finger A, natural, fourth finger B, shift back, C sharp, that is in second position, third finger on D sharp, and E. Turn around as D sharp. Now you can go ahead and do a stretch for that shift. So it shouldn't feel like a slide, it should really feel just like stretching. Second finger, first finger, and then half position, so fourth finger on F sharp. First finger here. Shift now. That is C sharp. Extend here. And then second position. Second finger. Good. So all together that looks like this. Challenging 2-octave scales, so it's really important that you take it slow at first, and if you are doing the 2-octave version of the scale, that you're really careful about finding the notes in tune and trying to make those shifts nice and clean. It's a great one for working on the shifting, and this type of shifting is really necessary in a lot of our music, especially when you're playing keys with more than 3 flats or sharps. So let's go ahead and try it with a beat. We'll start out with the basic 1-octave version, starting with first finger on the D string, and 2 beats per note. 1, 2, 3, 4. octave version, also 2 beats per note. So starting on the first finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. So with this one, I would advise you to move on to the 2 octave fingering as soon as you're ready, even if you just do one of the 2 octaves with that fingering. That's going to serve you better than practicing a fingering that you will abandon as soon as you move on to the 2 octave scale. So it doesn't matter really which octave you choose. If you're going to try one of the octaves, just revert to the fingering of the 2 octave version. So if you do the high octave, that just means starting out in half position with the second finger. And that would be your fingering. And it might feel a little weird to start out a scale in second position or in half position when you actually aren't playing the note that requires it to be in half position, but it will just set you up for the next steps with the scale. So good luck and happy practicing.